Something just cracked inside the WNBA tonight, and by the time you finish this video, you'll understand why the entire league is quietly panicking. Before I say another word, I need you to promise me one thing. Stick with me until the end, because what Stephanie White did after Caitlin Clark broke a 30-year record is only the surface. The real story, the one nobody in Indiana wants you to hear, doesn't drop until later in this video. And trust me, once you hear it, you'll understand why fans are calling this the biggest betrayal in women's basketball history. Now if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Because this Caitlin Clark story is moving fast, new leaks are dropping every single day, and I'm covering every twist as it happens. Subscribing is free, it takes 1 second, and it makes sure you never miss the next bombshell. Go do it now, I'll wait. Alright, let's get into it. Caitlin Clark just did something no player has ever done in the entire 30-year history of the WNBA. She reached 600 career assists in only 72 games. Not 80. Not 90. 72. She is officially the fastest player in league history to hit that number, and she did it on the road, in a 109-75 blowout win over the Las Vegas Aces at Michelob Ultra Arena. Think about that. Sue Bird couldn't do it that fast. Diana Taurasi couldn't do it that fast. Courtney Vandersloot, the assist queen herself, couldn't do it that fast. Caitlin Clark just rewrote the record book in her second season, and the number 22 has now etched her name into a place nobody can ever take from her. So you'd think her head coach would say something, right? A congratulations. A shout out. A single sentence. Anything. Nope. Stephanie White walked into that post-game press conference, looked into those cameras, and gave Caitlin Clark exactly this. Welcome back. That was it. Welcome back, baby. Collective effort. Our energy, our toughness, 3 wins on the road trip. 6 players in double figures. Not one word about the record. Not one word about history. Not one syllable acknowledging that her own point guard just did something no human has ever done in this league before. And here's what makes it worse. When Kelsey Mitchell broke a Fever franchise record earlier this year, Stephanie White made sure to praise her by name. She gave Kelsey her flowers. She spelled it out for the media. But when Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's sports on the planet, breaks an all-time WNBA record wearing that same Fever jersey, suddenly it's just a collective effort. Suddenly it's just, welcome back. Fans caught it instantly. Reporters caught it. And believe me, Caitlin caught it too. Stick around, because this welcome back moment is not an accident. There is a pattern here, and once I show you the receipts, you're going to see exactly why Clark's camp has been quietly furious for months. But we're not there yet. Keep watching. Here's what people around the league are saying tonight. The relationship between Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever front office is not just cracked. It is broken. Sources describe a rough season inside that locker room. Limited minutes when she returned from a groin injury. Awkward late-game decisions. Sideline exchanges that spilled straight into press conferences. In fact, ESPN reported earlier this year that Clark and White had a visible sideline exchange during a loss to the Chicago Sky that both of them had to publicly downplay. Both said it was nothing. Both said the media was making it bigger than it was. But you don't put out a statement to calm a story unless there was a fire there in the first place. And that fire has a name. Los Angeles. Now let me be crystal clear here so nobody accuses me of making things up. There is no confirmed trade. The Fever have not traded Caitlin Clark. But the rumors, the whispers, the reporting from names like Jason Whitlock and multiple WNBA insiders, are all pointing in the same direction. The Los Angeles Sparks want Caitlin Clark. And they are not being subtle about it. Here's why that matters. The Sparks are owned by an ownership group that includes Mark Walter, one of the most powerful sports owners on the planet. This is the same Walter who owns the Los Angeles Dodgers. The same Walter who is now buying the Los Angeles Lakers in a deal that values the team at more than $10 billion. The same ownership circle that pulled off the Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers. This is not some scrappy franchise trying to punch above its weight. This is one of the richest, most aggressive ownership groups in professional sports history, and they have made it very clear they want to build the LA Sparks into the flagship franchise of the entire WNBA. And there is no bigger flagship in women's sports than Caitlin Clark. Now let's talk about the second name flying around every one of these rumors. Sophie Cunningham. Sophie has been ride or die for Caitlin from day one. When opposing players tried to bully Clark early in her rookie year, Sophie was the one throwing the elbows. When Clark got hit with cheap shots, Sophie was the one standing in front of her. Their friendship has become one of the most talked about relationships in the entire league. So when the Sparks trade rumors started swirling, one detail kept coming up over and over. If Caitlin goes, Sophie goes too. Package deal. 2 for 1. Is that officially confirmed? No. Is it verified? No. But it is being reported and speculated about across multiple platforms, and Indiana's front office has done nothing to knock it down. And in this league, silence usually means the storm is real. Now hold on, because I promised you a bombshell later in this video, and we are getting close to it. But first I need to show you something that happened on that same night Caitlin broke the record. Something that tells you everything about how this league is treating its biggest star. With 4 minutes and 26 seconds left in the second quarter, Caitlin Clark stepped up to guard Chelsea Gray. Now Chelsea Gray is a veteran. A former Finals MVP. But right now, she is not the same player she used to be. Clark stayed in front of her, contested the shot, and as the two players made contact, Clark went down holding her back. The refs went to the monitor. The play was reviewed for a hostile act. And Aces head coach Becky Hammon, according to WNBA beat writer Tony East, looked completely baffled that this was even being reviewed at all. She argued her case with the officials right there on the court. And what happened? The refs came back and called it a common foul on Caitlin Clark. Not Gray. Clark. And in the process, Gray had elbowed Clark in the stomach on the same play, which drew heavy criticism online. Clark popped up furious. She said, "That's not a foul." Stephanie White had to walk over and guide her to the bench because Caitlin is already sitting on 5 technical fouls this season. One more and she is suspended for a game. Think about that. The face of the league is one whistle away from missing a game because of technical fouls, and the officials are calling common fouls on her when she's the one getting elbowed in the ribs. This is a pattern. This is not one bad call. This is a season-long pattern. Stay with me, because the biggest reveal is coming up. I promise you have not heard the wildest part of this story yet. Let's zoom out for a second. The Los Angeles Sparks are already positioning themselves. Head coach Lynn Roberts, who took over the team recently, has been openly praising every young player she can get her hands on. She's talked up Kate Martin, Caitlin's old college teammate from Iowa, saying Kate has real long-term value with the Sparks. Cameron Brink, their injured young star, is expected back from her torn ACL by the end of July according to Roberts herself. So the pieces are moving. The Sparks are building something, and every WNBA insider knows it. And then there was that post-game moment. The one that had every Caitlin Clark fan losing their mind on social media. After a game against the Sparks, cameras caught Caitlin Clark walking over to Kate Martin, purple and gold jersey on Kate, hugging her, laughing with her, whispering something in her ear. Nobody knows exactly what was said. But the internet decided instantly. Caitlin wants LA, Kate Martin is holding her spot. Sophie Cunningham is coming with her. And the Indiana Fever front office has no idea what is about to hit them. Is that fan speculation? Absolutely. Is it based on nothing? Absolutely not. Okay. Now I want to tell you the part that a lot of channels are refusing to talk about. This is the piece I promised you at the start of the video. Do not skip this. Here is what nobody in Indiana wants the public to know. The reason Stephanie White is not congratulating Caitlin Clark on records is not personal jealousy. It is not a coincidence. It is not media exaggeration. It is because the moment you publicly praise a player who might be walking out the door, you are admitting she is bigger than the franchise. And the second you admit that, you lose all leverage in any future negotiation. Every time White refuses to say Caitlin's name after a record, she is not disrespecting Clark. She is trying to hold on to power. She is trying to remind everyone in that building that the coach runs the show, not the star. And that strategy, that exact strategy, is the reason Clark's camp is reportedly done. Because Caitlin Clark did not sign up to be humbled. She signed up to be a champion. And when your own coach cannot say the words fastest player in WNBA history after you just became the fastest player in WNBA history, you already know how this ends. Now let me tell you what is happening behind the scenes right now, according to what's been reported and speculated across multiple WNBA insider channels. There are emergency meetings. There are ownership groups quietly asking questions. There are sponsors in the Midwest reportedly reconsidering their marketing spend because if Caitlin Clark leaves Indiana, the entire economic center of the WNBA moves with her. Every ticket sale. Every jersey. Every primetime slot. Every national broadcast. All of it follows her wherever she goes. That is not an opinion. That is math. That is the numbers the league office is looking at right now. And do not go anywhere yet, because I still have one more thing to show you. The part about Stephanie White's job security. It is worse than you think. Insiders are saying Stephanie White never saw this coming. One day she is running the team her way. The next day she is watching the biggest star in women's basketball history openly hug an opposing team's player after a game. Fans online are already calling for her to be fired. Every press conference she does makes it worse. Every time she leaves Caitlin's name out of a compliment, another clip goes viral. Every time she gives a short answer about a big Clark moment, another wave of fans turns on her. And the Fever front office is now in a position where they either back the coach and risk losing the biggest star their franchise has ever had, or they cut ties with the coach and try to save the star. There is no middle ground anymore. And here is where it gets scary for Indiana. Even if none of these trade rumors are true, even if Caitlin Clark never wears a Sparks jersey a single day in her life, the damage from these last few weeks may already be permanent. Because you cannot unsay welcome back when your player just broke a 30-year record. You cannot undo a season of limited minutes and awkward benchings. You cannot uncrack the trust between a superstar and a coaching staff once it is cracked. Once a player mentally checks out of a franchise, no contract, no offer, no press release can bring her back all the way. And Caitlin Clark, right now, is watching everything. Every quote. Every clip. Every foul call that goes against her. Every congratulations that never comes. Now here is the biggest question of all. And I want you to really sit with this one. If the Fever mishandle this, if they let it drag on, if they let Stephanie White keep cold-shouldering their franchise cornerstone, if they let the Los Angeles Sparks and Mark Walters' billion-dollar ownership group swoop in with an offer, this will not be remembered as a bad season. This will be remembered as the biggest front office collapse in WNBA history. Bigger than any coaching change. Bigger than any trade. This will be the moment the entire league shifts west. Los Angeles becomes the new capital. Indiana becomes a cautionary tale. And every player watching this unfold learns one lesson. Loyalty is a two-way street, and if teams do not protect their stars, the stars will simply leave and build something better somewhere else. That is bigger than basketball. That is a message to every athlete in every league on the planet. So what happens next? Does the Fever front office wake up and fix this? Does Stephanie White finally say Caitlin's name in a press conference without gritting her teeth? Does Mark Walter and the Sparks make a real offer that forces Indiana's hand? Or does this whole thing quietly implode over the next few months until we all look up one day and Caitlin Clark is holding up a purple and gold jersey on a Los Angeles stage? I do not know the answer yet. Nobody does. But I do know this. This story is not slowing down. Every single day new leaks are dropping. New sources are talking. New rumors are being confirmed and denied within hours. And I am covering every single one of them the second they happen. So if you made it this far, and I know you did because you are still watching, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Turn on your notifications. Drop a comment right now telling me what you think. Do you believe Caitlin Clark is done with Indiana? Do you think Stephanie White should be fired? Do you think Sophie Cunningham is going with her to LA? I read every comment. I respond to as many as I can. And your voice actually matters in how this story gets covered. Because remember, this is not just a basketball story anymore. This is a story about power. About respect. About what happens when the biggest star in an entire sport finally decides she has had enough of being disrespected by her own team. And trust me on this. The next chapter of this story is already being written. New reports are dropping this week. And when they hit, you are going to want to be here for every single one of them. This is far from over. Not even close. Stay tuned.